It is stated in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. The Bhagavad Gita Krishna has given this password. So there is disturbances. So it is stated in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. The Bhagavad Gita Krishna has given this password. So here it is Krishna has given the password that one who is not connected with Supreme. Nasti buddhir ajuktasa nacha juktasya bhavana nacha bhavayanti santir asantasya kuta sukham. So one who is not connected with Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace, and how can there be any happiness without peace? So Krishna say here that who is not connected with Supreme in Krishna consciousness, one cannot have transcendental intelligence nor steady mind. And without that there is no peace, there is no peace, there is no happiness. So here it is stated in Bhagavatam, in this material world, every materialistic, they wants happiness. In this material world, every materialistic desire to achieve happiness, diminish distress. Everybody wants that, everybody hoping that new year brings some new happiness, new things, happiness. But therefore they act accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activity for happiness, his condition of distress begins. Because this material world designed in such a way that it is always, there is a misery is a concomitant factor. Unhappiness is a very concomitant factor. The default factor. It is a default value which is grayed out, and you cannot even change it. By default, very subjective nature of the material world is dukkhalayam asasthatam. It's trouble, trial, tribulation. We have confronted during 2020 how the material world, it has shown its own face. Material world shown its own face. That how it is so trial, so tribulation, tremendous trial, tremendous trouble, tremendous tribulation. Everybody underwent and undergoing the 2022 obnoxious year. So this material world is intrinsic nature is unhappiness. Intrinsic nature is miseries. Therefore the so-called Happy New Year welcoming in a materialistic way of welcoming the New Year, hedonistic way of welcoming the New Year by being intoxicated by drinking liquor and forgetting all this frustration, misgiving is not the proper solution. So Krishna say that we must have connected to spirituality, connected to the God, connected to God or Krishna in Krishna consciousness, then only we can have real happiness. Real happiness is not flying, fading, flickering. It is eternal. It is eternal. So therefore it is stated, and so-called happiness, flickering happiness we are encountering, we are facing, we are enjoying, that is just a illusory. It is said that kurban dukkham pratikaram sukham manyate grihi. What happened? It's just a counteracting the distress. I have got so much this problem, and I have got I have got this problem, and I am getting a solution for the time being, temporarily. That I consider as a happiness. That is not real happiness. That is the illusory, the temporary, very transient happiness. And again there is again the misery will come. Unhappiness is coming. So unhappiness is frequently coming, and we are struggling hard to counteract it, and we are thinking that we are happy. Just like those olden days. The punishment was given that a criminal is taken to a river and his head is put inside the water. When he feels suffocated, and they brought up again, and after a little relaxation, then again he again they put the head of criminal inside the water. Our condition is like this. Our so-called happiness of getting some sense gratification, pleasure, for comfort of the body is just transient. It's very, very transient. just like it is very flying and fading. We have no idea that this happiness is not eternal. Even though one is ready to compromise with all this happiness and struggle for existence to counteract all the distress of misery and distress and unhappiness of material world, but he cannot stay. Dukkhalayam asasthatam. It is a temporary world. One has to give up everything at the time of death. One has to detach from the so-called happiness of family, so-called happiness of opulence, money, so-called happinesses of riches, so-called happinesses of opulences or sophisticated environment, gorgeous arrangement. One has to detach. One has to leave at the time of the death. Everything will be finished. All is so-called happiness. So this happiness is transient by nature, flying by nature, fading by nature. Therefore, you wanted real happiness means we have to find a solution. We have to find a solution, because our obnoxious unhappiness is that we are existing in a very non-existential atmosphere. Therefore, we are suffering. Our suffering is due to this non-existential atmosphere. Everybody has to die. It's inevitable. So this non-existential atmosphere or existential dilemma, disharmony is the root cause of our suffering. We have to leave everything, we have to detach from everything. We cannot take anything with us at the time of death. So this flickering happiness, this happiness which we are really endeavoring, it is really, worthless. Worthless. It is impregnated. All the happiness in this material world impregnated with the unhappiness. Therefore, the Shastra scripture say that 7:9:25 of Srimad Bhagavatam, in this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness. That is a fact. Everybody say, "I wish you happy new year, happy new year." They are hoping for a happy things will come to them, and which is exactly like a mirage in desert. It's a mirage. It's an illusion. Where is water in the desert? In other words, where is happiness in this material world? There is no happiness in this material world. As for this body, what is its value? It's merely a source of various disease. The so-called philosophers, scientists, and politicians know this very well, but nonetheless they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain, but because they are unable to control their sense, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world, never come to the right conclusion. They are thinking this material happiness, the illusory happiness, the transient happiness, is the real happiness. So they are being illusioned, they are being delusioned, they are being misdirected, misconceived that what is real happiness. So therefore, Shastra say that this is all illusion. Everybody is running after some kind of flickering happiness which is very illusory. Which is very illusory. So therefore, it is stated in Shastra that 7:9:17 that although there are many remedies by which we can get out of a miserable life, any such remedy in this material world are more miserable than misery themselves. So this material world is such a design. Any kind of solution we find out, it creates more problems. Just like a road system, traffic system, vehicles. We manufacture vehicles. For vehicles, we have to have a traffic system. We have to have a road. In this way, we are more and more creating problem, entangled in its complexity. Entangled in its complexity. Therefore, it is said that 7:9:17 Bhagavatam, the solution is more miserable. The remedy is more miserable than miseries. So therefore, the so-called happiness of New Year is just illusory. And although the performer of fruitive activity desire perpetual happiness, it is clearly observed that materialistic workers are often unhappy, only occasionally satisfied, thus proving that they are not independent or in the control of their destiny. So everybody is destined whether to be happy or unhappiness. Everybody is destined. So everybody trying to be perpetual happiness, but the result is just opposite. They are unhappy always. Occasionally they are satisfied. When a person is always under superior controller of another, how can he expect any valuable result from his own fruitive action? They are always under the control of somebody superior. So there is no question of happiness. There is no question of independence, happiness. So this material world is very so in this way we are just running after the so-called Happy New Year with and celebrating. Just we have a few minutes and to celebrate few seconds actually to celebrate the New Year. Everybody is waiting for that very unprecedented excitement, ecstasy. But the thing is that there is nothing new and nothing happy in this New Year. Nothing new, nothing happiness. This so-called happiness, Happy New Year is actually nothing. We have experienced 2020, how obnoxious, how nefarious New Year, That is the thing. Ayur Harati Bai Punsam. Actually, the New Year celebration is kind of very. It's not kind of celebration actually. Devotee perspective, it is different. Because when a year passes, we are nearing to death. Ayur Harati Bai 2317 of Bhagavatam say, Ayur Harati Bai Punsam Udyan Astam Chanyasu Tasyate Yat Khananitya Uttama Sloko Vartaya. Ayur Harati Bai Punsam. Every sunrise we are nearing to death. Every new year we are 1 year reducing our life. So we are in a death queue which is moving forward. And while standing in a queue which is moving forward to death, how can one be happy? How can one celebrate that, oh, this is a very good New Year, happy, let us drink, let us get intoxicated, let us, enjoy this anniversary, birthday celebration, New Year celebration. We are in a death queue. We are moving forward. Anytime we can be executed. We are relentlessly approaching to death imperceptibly. So where is happiness in a death queue? Supposing a deer is munching a grass and in front of him is the tiger and behind him is a hunter. How can he be happy? It is stated in Bhagavatam that what is the happiness? What is this happiness? But 429:53 Bhagavatam it is said that where is the happiness? It is stated that for my dear king, please search out that deer who is engaged in eating the grass in a very nice flower garden along with his wife. The deer is very much attached to his business and is enjoying the sweet singing of bumblebees in his garden. Just try to understand his position. He is unaware that before him is a tiger which is accustomed to living at the cost of another flesh. Behind deer is a hunter who is threatening to pierce him with a sharp arrow. Thus deer death is imminent. That is exactly our position. We are getting together at the stroke of the midnight, awaken and awaiting to celebrate, with tremendous eagerness, unprecedented excitement and ecstasy for the advent of August New Year. But we are not aware of the fact that death is imminent. We are passing 1 year closer to death. Before us there is a tiger and behind us there is a hunter. That means we are always being embarrassed. Just for a 1 day celebration, we are forgetting our frustration, our impending danger, our miseries, our misdeeds of past lives, past years' life, past year deeds. That is quite irony, unfortunate. How can we enjoy that? Simply because of we are ignorant, we are not aware of this impending danger. We are not aware, therefore we are celebrating blindly. But devotees, they know that we are more closer to the death now. They bring the urgency. I have no time. Let us finish this business of Krishna consciousness and go back to spiritual existence. Human form of life is aims. Human form of life is the meant for transferring ourselves from this transient atmosphere to eternal atmosphere, from this temporary atmosphere of material existence to eternal atmosphere of spiritual existence, where there is an unadjusted happiness. Everybody wants happiness, but this happiness is thwarted, threatened by our material existence, fleeting existence. Therefore, every human being, particularly human form of life, who has got a privilege, prerogative of understanding, discriminating that what should be our solution to get out from the death queue. They should not waste the time. They should not be misled by such kind of celebration, hedonistic way of celebrating the New Year. They should welcome the New Year by chanting the holy name of the Lord, by connecting to the Lord, praying the Lord, glorifying the Lord's deed, by bringing more urgency to prepare for themselves to transcend this material existence. Bring urgency to take shelter of his thy Lordship Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Krishna. Bring urgency to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada books. That is the devotee perspective of celebrating New Year. Chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That will invoke the abundant happiness, auspiciousness. Mangalam Vishnu, Mangalam Garuda Dhajja, Mangalam Pundarikshakam, Mangalam Tanuhari. Mangala, all auspiciousness, all happiness. Lord is all happiness, Krishna is all happiness. By connecting with Krishna, we invoke the immense and abundant, enormous happiness, tremendous happiness, stupendous happiness in our lives. That is the devotee perspective of celebrating the New Year, welcoming the New Year. Not like the hedonistic way of celebrating the New Year. Therefore, where is happiness, so-called happiness? Because we are like a deer, we are being threatened. Our happiness is threatened by our material existence. Our happiness is threatened by our temporary flying and fading existence, fleeting existence. Therefore, we should endeavor to get out from this material existence, get out from this jail. Then only we can get the real happiness, unadjusted happiness. So unless we come to that point, there is what is the use of our endeavor? Our endeavor is simply useless waste of time. Nehat karma dharmaya. All our karma, if does not culminate to the point of nehat karma dharmaya, to point of tirtha pada sevaya, to devotional service to the Lord, jivanapi murtvisa, although they are living is like a dead. What is the use of this life? Karma, activities. Therefore it is stated in Bhagavatam Canto 5, 18.3, alas, 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 oh, so pity. How wonderful it is that foolish materialistic does not heed the great danger of impending death. He knows that death will surely come, yet he is nevertheless callous and neglectful. He knows that death will come, inevitable, but he is callous, he is neglectful, he is so adamant. If his father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property. If his son dies, he wants to enjoy his son's possessions as well. In either case, he heedlessly tries to enjoy material happiness with the acquired money. He wants to acquire money and enjoy the material happiness, but he does not know that it is impending. It is inevitable. So therefore, but on the other hand, for devotee, the happiness is different. The happiness is by connecting to Lord. Such a liberated for 521 Krishna say, such a liberated person, this Krishna now giving the password to devotee how to access to the happiness. Such a liberated person is not attached to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, self-realized person enjoy unlimited happiness for he concentrates on the supreme. So devotees always concentrate, meditate on the supreme. Therefore, they enjoy unlimited happiness. Sukham akshayam asnute. See, unlimited happiness. Akshayam, akshaya patra. Akshaya means unlimited. Akshayam sukham. Devotee enjoy akshayam sukham simply by connecting with Krishna consciousness. Simply by concentrating on supreme. That is what Krishna is giving a password, to access the happiness. And 6:24 Krishna says, Yam labda cha paramalabham manyatinadhikam tata jasmin stitosi dukkhena guruna api vichale. Yam labda cha paramalabha. Once they get it, and there is no, see, this is the highest happiness. The transcendental happiness is a boundless transcendental happiness. In that joy state, one is situated boundless transcendental happiness. See, boundless transcendental happiness. Yam labdacha paramalabha. This is what, when one is connected with Krishna consciousness, they get the password to access the boundless, unlimited, unexhausted, Brahma Saukyam, unlimited happiness. In 11, 14, 17, it is stated by Krishna that those who are without any desire for personal gratification, whose mind are always attached to me, who are peaceful without false ego and merciful to all living entity, whose consciousness is never affected by opportunity for sense gratification. Such person enjoy in me a happiness that cannot be known or achieved by those lacking such detachment from material world. So Krishna here say this is a very nice verses. Krishna say those who are not interested in material sense gratification, this flickering sense gratification, flickering happiness, so they get the happiness that is very cannot be known. That is so much, so unlimited that cannot be infinite happiness. That is infinite happiness, and that is also. Practically, it is there's a historical instance. Durga Maharaj, when he got so much opulences, so much material opulences, he rejected all material opulences, because when he saw the Lord, when he is connected with the Lord in Krishna consciousness, then he found that so-called material happiness is just like a broken glass compared to the spiritual happiness, which is like a Divya Ratna, bejeweled ornament. Kacham vichinmastana vilasita pasithita ham tam prapta deva munindra goyam. Kacham vichinvanapi divyaratnam. Kacham vichinvanapi divyaratnam. Swamin ki tasmi baram na jache. Here say Krishna say that here the Dhruva Maharaj say that I am looking for some kind of like broken glasses. The material happiness is just like a broken glasses. But I have got this I have got this most valuable jewel. The happiness in Krishna consciousness is like a jewel. Happiness in material world, material happiness is called like broken glasses. The intelligent person, they like always jewel. They should seek for the jewel. Therefore, the so-called Happy New Year is actually devotee prospective. That's a different. Devotee prospective, that's a different. They celebrate, they understand that every day is the new year, Navajovanamcha, and this new year also is very nearing to the death. 1 year I pass, therefore they bring urgency in the chanting, reading books, and celebrating this new year, welcoming this new year by attending Mangalarati in association with devotees and chanting the holy name of the Lord constantly. This is the way of the welcome, understanding that the password to this so-called Happy New Year happiness is not by celebrating the stroke of the midnight with the tremendous eagerness, excitement, and drinking liquor, dancing, and in this way forgetting our frustration and our misgivings. So that is not the proper way of celebrating. Rather, proper way of celebrating to welcome the new year with chanting the holy name of the Lord constantly. In this way, we will be getting unbounded happiness. As Krishna says in all these verses, Bhagavad Gita, that you will get unbounded happiness, unlimited happiness, unexhausted happiness. And that is always new and fresh, because Krishna is new and fresh. So thank you very much. And in this note, on this serious note, I wish you all a happy Krishna consciousness New Year. Please chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and be happy. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.